Hi everyone, it's Sue and welcome to my channel today. Today I have a journal that I'd like to show you. It's a recycled tissue box expandable mixed media type journal. And the reason I made this was because a lot of my journals where I put in any sort of mixed media type piece or any collaged even sort of page, I'm finding that the journals, they're very much an alligator mouth. So, you end up with it looking like that, and they simply don't fit on my shelf very easily or anything like that. And I thought, wouldn't it be good if you could put, and quite often I want to do a more textured piece. I want to use thicker cardboard, or I want to use a dimensional piece in my little artwork. So I thought it'd be really good if it was expandable. So I thought, okay, I could do a ring bind journal. That would be fine. That would do it. But of course you're limited, I guess, to the size of your rings. So I thought, okay, well, what about some sort of threaded ribbon binding? So that's where I got this part from. And then I was thinking, I've got so many tissue boxes that I've been saving, and I thought, well, let's recycle some cardboard. So, and they come with that perfect window in the front, a lot of them. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to attempt to make one out of a tissue box, and this is what this is. So what I've come up with is this expandable tissue box journal, and basically it's very simple to make, so much so that because I liked the design on the tissue box, and I've left the back so that you can see it actually is a tissue box. I've deliberately left that because I like the design. I'm sure I'm not the only person who buys tissues by what the box looks like. So I thought, I'm not going to cover that. You could, of course, but I'm not going to. I thought I'm going to leave it. So then I grabbed some bits and pieces to coordinate, and I grabbed a vintage image that I had, and this is what I came up with. So it's got obviously a cover, which are the two pieces, and it's got the sari silk ribbon. Now, so this is probably not the most ideal because it keeps fraying. It's going to fray, but at the time this was all I had. So when you open it, now I've only put a few pages in just to show you, because I will probably do the pages and then put them in at the end. So what we've got is we have just some random bits of cardboard, just cut out from boxes, because I wanted something a little firmer than paper. Now this bit here, I've deliberately left it open for the moment just to show you that you could make a pocket, but I'm actually going to just stick some paper over that just to cover that. The back has a pocket as well, which again, it's up to you whether you leave it as a pocket or not. This bit is just a reinforced bit to make sure that it is firm enough to hold the binding. I've put sewing, zigzag stitching around the edge, which you don't have to do, that's entirely up to you. I thought it added to the vintage sort of look. So I'm going to quickly go through how you make this. It is very simple, but as I said, I think it will be great for those thicker pieces of art that you tend to do sometimes, especially even collages. They do work out a bit thicker. And it's expandable, so if I'm sick of using it, I can stop. I can add pages if I want to. I can add any type of pages. So I thought, you know what, this serves a lot of purposes, and it's a recycled project. Everything on there could be recycled, including your ribbon if you have some old ribbon or something that you could use. The only thing that possibly, although no, I used acetate in there. Again, you could use a recycled one like I did. I just cut a box top and use that. Okay, so let's see. Now I have a tissue box here. This one, now all I've done is cut it along that line there, that sort of where the join. You don't have to. The first one I just actually ripped it open, and it's better to rip it open because you don't have this extra thick layer here, which I'm now having to rip off. But this one, I save boxes, so this one was in my stash because, yeah, I have a lot of stash. So, first thing is to get this plastic off. So you just need to rip that carefully off, like so. And then trim up the edges. Now I might do this a bit, put this on fast, because it's pretty easy just to cut them off. Okay, now you can keep those bits or throw them out, it's up to you. Next thing is just to make sure all your edges are straight. Mine aren't quite because of, as I said, I'd already cut this up. So I'm just going to try to straighten them up without losing too much of the box. Okay, now the next thing was to cut it in half. So I'm just going to chop it sort of, and I'm using the fold lines of the box. Okay, so pop that out of the way for the moment. Okay, so I'm going to use this as the front, and again, I like the design, so I'm not going to cover it. This is where you could cover it, obviously, if you wish. Now it simply needs to fold over like so. Now this one is a bit shorter here, and this is where, with this one, I did get that bit there, and see, as I said, I didn't tear that off, but this one I have. So I'm not too fussed about that for the moment. My first job is going to be to do the front. So I do have another vintage image which was going to fit in there. Okay, so that would fit there. Now I have a piece of acetate which probably could do with a bit of trim down. So just simply trim it down so that it covers the hole that you have in the front. And again, this is optional, you don't have to put acetate. I just think it just adds a little bit if you've got the acetate. So I'm just chopping off sort of the rough edges, really, making it just that little bit smaller. You don't want it the same size as your cover, just because you may be gluing it down or sewing it, so it'd be easier if it's not. Now it's just a little bit wide, so I might just chop a little bit more off. I don't know if it's exactly straight, but I'm sure it will do. Okay, so that will go there. This will go behind that. And then we can decorate around it. So I'm just going to glue the acetate down to start with, so that it's already starting to stick before we mess around. Oops. Just try and make sure it's clean. Sometimes they pick up little bits of paper and fabric. So that's going to dry. One thing I did forget, just before you do, you need to distress around, if you wish, around these bit here. So I'm just using, I think it's walnut stain for this, and just giving it a bit of a distress around. And because it's a glossy surface, you can actually sort of move the ink. And if you find you've got little bits that need trimming or anything, you can trim those off. Then glue your acetate down. Hopefully that will be okay. It should glue. Alright, so I'm just going to leave that for the minute. Now I need some things to coordinate. As you can see, I did use it was a strip of painted calico, and I did use watercolours. So this is another one, and it's pretty similar in colour, so I'm actually going to use it. So I'm just going to kind of make a little bit of a snippet. So I've got some book page here that will be a base. Now because that design's there and there, I might actually go the opposite corner. So basically I'm just making a little snippet using some bits and pieces that are on my desk. So I'm thinking, let's see, what else have we got in here? I do have this bit of fabric. It's purple, but no, I don't think that quite goes. Let me see, what else have I got? Ooh, what's that there? Pink. Maybe a bit too pink. Yep, too pink. There's a nice little purple bit. Yep. So I might just tuck that in the back there. Now, I need something in the front. Let me see, what else have I got? Some little bits of lace is always useful. What's this here? A little bit of, that would be nice on the front, I think. Let's have a look. Oops, I can't pick it up. So it's going over this side, so it's not going to be too big obviously because I don't want to cover. Now if I pop that like that, I could put that like that, a little piece of this, like so. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. And then on the top corner up there, similar again, just a bit smaller this time. So just to make it sort of more cohesive, I'm adding the same things. You don't have to, of course, you could do totally different things. It's entirely up to you. Okay, yep. And I still think I need something with a slightly stronger colour as the focal point. No, wrong colour. Ooh, I do have this bit, that yellow. Not really sure if that sort of... Let's just have a little piece, see how it goes. Just cut a little piece and tuck it behind that maybe. Let's have a look. No, I don't really like it. Maybe it's a little bit too big and stands out too much. Maybe behind. Somehow like that, just peeking out. Yep, I think I like that better. So that's that. I might just pop a little piece of as well. Would be better if I had fabric scissors for this, but anyway, I'll just tuck that in there like so. And that will go like that. Let me see. Now, if you have any of little flowers or something like that, that would be perfect for this. Just having a look and see if I've got any ribbon or something to make a bow. I do have this one. I thought I had some more in here actually. There's another piece. I'm trying to use up some of my scraps, all those little scraps that just end up, oh, hang on a minute, end up on my desk. No, but that one would, I think, go very well with this box that I have. So I might keep that. That's another project in the making. Alright, I might just leave it at that. I can always pop something on at the end. Now I do have another bit of ribbon there. This one's beige, so I might actually, or cream coloured, I might make a little bow. I didn't want to spend too long making the decoration part of it. Sort of really wanted to focus more on the making the actual journal. Now I think I'll pop that one at the top up there like so. And I'll pop this one here. Now you could glue all this, you could put a staple through it. I'm just going to quickly run it through my sewing machine. So I will actually be back in a moment. Okay, so I've done that, so they're going to go there, and I'm just going to leave those for the moment. Now, let me see, that will be going in there like so. So I'm going to I think I might pop that in now because I will run the edge through the sewing machine. Now my next decision is, do I leave it, am I going to leave that open because I can sew something into there. I don't think I will leave this one open. What I will do, I'm going to glue this down. Don't need too much glue because it will be sewn into place as well with the when you sew it all down. Now, I've got to make sure I get it in the right position. There we go. So she's glued in there like so. Don't have to be too fussy as long as she's in position from the front. Okay, so now I'm going to pop that down. Now I'm actually thinking I need a piece of something just to cover that bit. So I'm just going to grab some coffee dyed paper. Alright, I've just decided I'm going to cover that whole area with the coffee dyed paper because I can use that for some notes or something like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue this part down to start with, just to make sure it's glued. And I'm going to glue the coffee dyed paper down as well, although I am going to sew it as well. But I think just to hold it down, like so. Now I'm trying to get it nice and straight so I don't have to do too much trimming, but I think I will be doing some trimming. Okay. Alright, now if you're only going to glue that, I would suggest that you get some bulldog clips or some paper clips. I'm just trying to grab one, something like this, and just hold them in place until it is glued. I'm going to sew it on the sewing machine. So I'm going to just trim it up, make sure it's all nice and even. And I will zigzag stitch right the way around the edge of that piece, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I've sewn around it with zigzag stitch. Now you can do anything you want with the cover. You can cover it totally and cut out the center part. You can use straight stitch, you can glue it, you can make it grungy. It's really entirely up to you. I've sort of left the cover because the tissue box I felt was a nice design. I wasn't too fussed about covering it. But obviously if you have a design that doesn't please you, then go for it. Alright, so I've just distressed the edge of that with some walnut stain. Now the back. So we grab our piece. Now that needs to be folded over. If you've got something like that, cover it, take it off, entirely up to you. It needs to you need to make sure it fits. In this case it does, so that's good. Now you can make a decision here whether you want to do it like this, have it this side and have a pocket in here, so something that tucks in here, or you can decide to have it this way and just have it as a thicker cover and maybe a pocket here. If you're going to have it this way, I would suggest reinforcing this side. Now I did reinforce it, and I actually used, when I did it, I actually had a piece of the tissue box that I could use to reinforce it. I'm just thinking this particular box I don't think had a piece, but you could use any card that you've got. That really wouldn't matter. What I think I might do is I think I might actually do it that way, and I might cut that off so that it's a bit smaller. The pocket's actually a little bit smaller. I do like the idea of having a pocket in the back just to slip any bits and pieces in there that I might have. Okay, so I'm just going to trim that off. Now, oh, that's where I got the other piece from actually, because I did trim that off. I did have this bit here that I could use to reinforce. So if you want to do it that way, you could do it that way as well. Maybe I should actually, that makes the cover thicker, and it's always nice to have a good sturdy cover, so I might actually do that, and I might turn it that way. So I'm just going to trim this little bit here like so, and I'm going to do some gluing. So I'm just going to glue this flap down here, and I'm going to, I would suggest using some bulldog clips again just to hold it, because it does pop open otherwise. Alright, and I'm going to glue that down like so. Now I'm using art glitter glue. You could use PVA glue or maybe a stronger craft glue. Would not recommend glue sticks. Probably not strong enough for that. Okay. Now I'm going to cover the back of this one because yeah, I think I will. So again, I'm just going to grab some coffee dyed paper. Could use book page as well for this. It's a pity it doesn't fit like so, but anyway. Alright, so just take those off for the moment and pop some glue. If you are going to do the back cover, I would suggest doing it before you sew, because then you're catching it as well when you're sewing. Oops. Okay, end of that. And now we just need to trim it all up. It's not very straight. It's interesting how the paper, when I coffee dye the paper, it never quite ends up as straight as it was to start with. Alright, now I think that's okay. Yep, I'm happy with that. So that is the basis for the back. You could round the corners too if you wanted, have a round cornered one. Okay, so that goes like that, and I'm just going to sew around the edge and I will be back. Okay, the back's done. Alright, now making sure that you've got it the right direction, I'm going to pop it on top of this one, and I'm actually going to put some clips just to hold it in place. Now I'm going to decide where I want my my binding or my holes. So I'm thinking roughly about there. I'm not too fussed, and roughly about there. Now when you do it, put your holes past the stitching. You don't want to be going through the stitching. Okay, so I've just got my big bite here. And I'm going to do both at the same time, so do make sure that you have everything where it should be. Yep, double checked. Okay, now, where's that hole? There it is. Make sure again that it is lined up okay. How far did I get from there? Yep, okay. Just a little bit more. It is actually quite difficult to see where the pencil mark is, but there should be fine. And about there. Okay. Alright, so I've got my holes. Now I'm going to choose my these things, which I can't remember what they're called. Eyelets. Now what have I got? I think I might go for those ones. Yep, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so pop those in. Alright, let's hope this works first time. Move it to there, should be set up. Okay, yep, not too bad. I'm just going to do the rest off camera because I can stand up and get more leverage that way. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, oops, goes that way. What I'm going to do is glue down my little front little bits. Now let me see, how can I get this one like so? I might actually distress the paper behind it, not that you can see much, but it just gives it a little bit more of a vintagey feel. Okay. And this one here. Okay, I'm just going to pull some of the threads off that a little bit. better. Okay. Alright, so that's those two little bits. Could possibly put something else there, and if I can find a flower that tones in with that, I might actually pop a flower on top. But at the moment I don't think I will have any because we're in lockdown, so it's a bit difficult to get stuff. Now for this one I'm just going to slip the rings through, but you could also do what I did with this one as well. And this one will allow for more expansion. This one will allow for quite a bit of expansion, but probably not as much as you would get with this one. So that's the basis for the expandable tissue box journal. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Of course, if you you can put your papers in, measure them up, put your holes in. You can use paper or card like I did with this one. It's entirely up to you. Alright, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it gave you some ideas of how to use up some tissue boxes and make yourself another art journal. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.